Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you why I chose the Hobonichi Cousin as my main planner, as well as discuss with you why I plan to continue with it for the next year as well. So I am going to purchase it again for the next year, and I hope that this video helps you out in making a decision with regards to purchasing a Hobonichi Cousin or not purchasing it for the next year. And in this video I will be speaking a few pros and cons about the cousin, but I just wanted to mention that I've noticed that what is a con for me might be a pro for someone else, so I will not categorize them too much simply because of that. And also I would love to watch your views about the Hobonichi Cousin as well, so please type it down in the comments below so I can get an idea of what you think about the Hobonichi Cousin too. So let us begin. Now, let us start with why the Hobonichi Cousin is so popular. One of the main reasons that I went for this planner is the fact that I could have everything in one planner. If you know about the Hobonichi Cousin, you might already know that this planner is known because it has monthlies, weeklies and dailies. Let me see whether I can show you a page. Yes. Okay. This is one of the empty spreads for the next month. I have not worked on it completely. I've just prepped it up. So yes, the Hobonichi Cousin has monthly spreads and it has weekly spreads too. As you can see, it has weekly spreads. Let's see an empty one. Yes, this is how it would look empty, and this is a used one. And of course, it also has daily spreads. So you can see that this is a daily spread, an empty version. Again, the idea here is that it has all three in one planner. Now, generally for other planners, if you take any of the other planners, you tend to get either a weekly planner or a daily planner. There are, of course, a few planners which can be customizable and you can change it accordingly. But what I love about this is that it has all of this in one book, and not as bulky as you would think it should be with all these spreads. So that is something that I love about this planner. Of course, it is bulky. I will mention about that later. But when you think that it has all the three spreads, it is not that big. And another thing that I love and why I chose this planner is simply because I love bullet journaling, but I do not have the patience to create all those spreads. I had tried bullet journaling last year, and I loved it. But at the same time, I realized that there are days when I don't have the patience to create another spread and prepare another spread. What I love about the cousin is that the spreads are already set for me. So I have my dailies dated already. I have my weeklies. I have the monthlies. I don't have to create them. I can use it as a bullet journal. I can use the Hobonichi Cousin as a bullet journal. So I can decorate it, I can plan in this as required. That is what I love about this, that I don't have to create the spreads, but at the same time I can change it up and decorate it however I wanted to. So those were two of the main reasons that I went for this planner. Now let us discuss the features of this planner that you should be aware of when you consider buying a Hobonichi Cousin. First of all, the Hobonichi Cousin, as you know, is a book-bound planner. Unlike other planners, this is a book-bound planner. Let me see whether I can get it out. Of course, there are planners like the Erin Condren planners which are coiled, and they have, of course, Erin Condren has different versions. But what is interesting about the Hobonichi Cousin is the fact that it is book-bound. It is book-bound. It uses Tomoe River paper, as most of you already know. It is book-bound in this manner, as you can see, and it uses Tomoe River paper, which is a very thin paper, almost like Bible paper, that takes fountain pen ink quite well. It is known for taking fountain pen ink as well as watercolors quite well. Now, here is a point that I feel is not important for me. I am not a fountain pen user, nor do I watercolor in this. So I do not care about it, but I know that many people love the cousin because of that point. Now moving ahead, let's speak about the cover. The cover for the cousin is just plain cream colored cardstock. So what I've done, as you can see here, is I've decorated the cover, but as of otherwise it is just cardstock cover for the Hobonichi Cousin. You are free to leave it as it is, or you can decorate it as I have done over here. It is up to you. Now I am not showing you the front simply because I have my name over there, but yes, this is how it is. And as you can see, since it is book bound and I have put in a lot of inserts or tip-ins, this is the bulk of it as of August. So this is from Jan to August. This is the bulk of it, and this is the last few empty pages. Sorry, I got it wrong. This is the last few empty pages. Yes. So this is the bulk of this planner as a whole, which is quite bulky as you can see, but it does not bother me. See, it does not bother me much because I know that I put a lot of tip-ins inside, and that is why it is so bulky. And without putting them in, it would be roughly this much or a little smaller than that, I guess. So if you do not use any stickers, it is around this much. But since I've used them, you can see that the spine is of course a little curved, as you can see. Again, like I said, not a huge issue for me. This planner stays at home for me. It is my main planner which stays at home. I do not carry it around, so the size does not bother me much. But as of otherwise also, this is an A5 size planner, and I would be able to carry it simply because I have used a lot of larger planners before, like the Erin Condren planner that I had shown, and these tend to be larger and in some cases heavier, depending on how many months you have bought for that planner. So this is not that heavy, but generally I would say that the EC planners are quite big, and I'm used to carrying them on a daily basis for work, so I wouldn't be bothered by carrying this around as well. But then that is a personal choice. I know that many people find this size uncomfortable and would prefer going for the A6 size, which is the Hobonichi original size. This is of course the A5. Now, advantages of the A5 I would say are that you get a lot of covers for it. Hobonichi offers its own covers. As you can see, the one that I was using was a Hobonichi cover. It is quite useful because there are a lot of pockets in this, and of course there are of course 2 bookmarks as well. Now, why I would feel that a cover is good is especially if you are someone who is carrying it around. Now, I will not buy a cover for next year, okay, because the Hobonichi covers I found them to be quite expensive. There are of course various other companies that offers covers for the Cousin, okay. There are leather covers, various covers available which people use for it, but I am not going to buy any cover for next year simply because I realized that I do not need a cover. I have all the things that I need within the planner itself or on my desk, so I do not need a separate cover to hold anything. As you saw, my pockets were largely empty for the cover, so I do not need it. But if you're carrying it around, a cover might be good for you. As the maximum that I would do probably is get one of those clear covers which are available and put it on so that it does not get dirty as such. But as of otherwise, I would not use a cover for the Hobonichi Cousin. But there are different cover options available if you are someone who is interested in going in that direction. Now, when it comes to the Hobonichi cover, as I've said, it is just pure cardstock cover, plain cream cardstock cover, which might be an issue because it can get dirty easily without another cover on top of it. And of course, it is just cardstock, so it can get bent if you use it roughly. So those issues are there. That is something to keep in mind when you are considering using it without a cover. I have not had an issue so far simply because I've already covered it in this manner, so it does not bother me. But maybe next year I would not decorate it and I will see how it works out for me. So that is regarding the cover and the size of the planner. Now moving forward to the next topic. Something that I've probably forgot to mention while speaking about the cover is the fact that the Cousin does not have bookmarks. It is a book bound planner that does not have any bookmarks, which I feel is odd because many of the book bound planners I have used have had at least 2 ribbon bookmarks in them. So it kind of bothers me that the Cousin does not have any bookmarks at all, and that is why in fact the cover that Hobonichi offers has bookmark in them because and that is what I'm using for this year, of course. But as of otherwise, I would say that you can use other bookmarks. That is not a huge issue, but That is something to be aware of. Now the price of the Cousin, it varies depending on where you buy it from. You can buy it from the Hobonichi site directly, which is what I do because I like to get the freebies, and it is just a one-time buy for me, so I pay the extra expense as well. Now when it comes to buying from the site, let me tell you, the price of the planner is less. I think it would be around $35 if you buy from the official site or from Amazon Japan as well. But the problem is when you buy from there, you have to pay a lot of shipping. That is something to keep in mind. If you're staying outside of Japan, obviously, you have to pay a lot of shipping, and the shipping prices are quite high. In some cases, I have had shipping prices being higher than the planner itself. So yes, that could be a little heavy on your pocket. But again, I would say that it would be up to you to add the products, calculate the amount and see what works out for you. Is it better to buy from the store or directly buy from stores that are in the US itself, like JetPens? That is something to consider as well, because there are many places that offer the Hobonichi. One of them is JetPens. I believe Yoseka Stationery also carries Hobonichis on their site. So yes, on the US sites, I believe the Hobonichi is priced around $54. I'm not sure, I think it is around $54, and you can see the price difference now. On the original site it is just around $35, while on the US site it is probably $54. But then that is what I said, you have to keep the shipping costs in mind. When you buy from the official site, of course there is a high shipping price. I would say that you could add in products earlier and try to calculate the price and see what works out for you. I love buying from the site, therefore I always go for that. And for me, like I said, it is a one-time purchase. I do not buy several times throughout the year. I think the maximum I've got is I've made as 2 purchases in a year from Hobonichi. So I don't think the shipping price bothers me much because of that. But as of otherwise, yes, that is something to keep in mind if it bothers you, the shipping price, if you have to get it from the Hobonichi store. Now that was regarding the price as such. Moving on to other matters when you buy a Hobonichi Cousin. I think that the Hobonichi is, as mentioned, a beautiful planner, but what bothers many people is the fact that you have a page per day. It is the main feature of this planner that there is a page per day. After all, it has the daily spreads, and as you can see, dated, so there is a page per day. Now this is helpful to some people, not helpful to some, because many people feel that they do not need a page per day. They are not appreciative of that idea, I guess. But in my case, I like a page per day and I love the space that it offers. Now let me tell you, I do not fill it up always. Let's see. Yes, see, this is an empty spread. This is one of the empty spreads I did not use at all. Some days I fill it up quite well, some days I don't fill it up at all. It does not bother me at all. So for me, I would prefer to have more space than less space. I had considered buying an A6 earlier, the smaller version, but I realized that the A6 might be too small for me. I tend to use 2 grids to write. I think you can see it. I tend to use 2 grids to write and not 1. So I end up needing the space, and I'm worried that if I go for the A6, I would not have the space and it would be too small for me, and I would have to keep on adding paper to, write additional information. I would prefer that I have more space. I would leave it blank, it does not bother me. See, I've not covered this area. If I leave it blank, I leave it, that's it. Even if you saw the previous spread that I showed, it was empty and that does not bother me. If you've seen my flip throughs, you must have seen how when I had some empty spreads, there are days when I go back to that spread and just decorate it for fun. That is something that I do as well. Not necessarily I fill it up, but at times I go back and fill up some empty spreads as well. Even if I do not fill it in that month, I might even go on a next month and fill up that spread. Now, coming to the pens that you can use here. As mentioned, many people love using fountain pens over here because this paper is known for taking it well as for watercolor. You can see how thin the paper is, but I do not use it. I tried using it, it did not work out for me. I do not have the patience to write slowly with that. And I prefer using gel pens or the EC marker pen. The black version, the black pen that they have, I tend to use one or the other. So the current one that I have on here is just a Pilot gel pen, and I know that gel pen takes time to dry on this paper, but I not had a huge issue with it, because if I'm on the spread, this page remains open. And yes, there have been initial issues when I used to start with when I started off with the planner. I had issues where, you know, I used to what do you say, I used to pass my hand and then just the ink used to spread over there. But then that was just at the beginning. I've noticed that once I started going with this, there has not been a huge issue. As you can see, there are no issues with the ink on this page. And in most pages, I can show you them if you want to see. Oh yes, this is the EC pen, this is the gel pen, both are different, so you can see the pens over here. So yes, that is something to consider. And I have used it in different manners. That is another thing. I do not follow a strict sort of planning routine for this year, simply because I'm experimenting with the Cousin. This is my first year with the Cousin, and I have been experimenting for the months, and that is why you can see different types of spreads on the months, as you can see over here, and I'm enjoying it so far. Maybe I'll follow maybe a set sort of routine next year, but as of now I'm experimenting with the spreads. Moving ahead to the next issue, this section over here, as well as many other things, if you've noticed, are in Japanese, as you can see, and that is a slight issue for me, simply because I wish I could read this. If it was in English, I could probably at least read the quote and have fun with that. Right now, I cannot understand the quote, and that irritates me, because it is there, it is covering up the space, and it is not helpful. It is not a very large issue, but I would prefer it not to be there or to be in English, one or the other. But yes, two things you can do over here. Either ignore it like I have done, or you can also cover it up with washi or something decorative if you wish to. And it is not only over here. Let me show you at the back as well. Yes, see, there are a lot of these printed pages at the back, which are quite useless. It is there every year, and I do not know why they give this, because I feel that, see, it is quite a number of pages. I feel that it is pointless. Most people do not use it. I know that some people use the 100, yes, this page, my 100, but yes, the rest of it I find quite useless. But I think it does not add much weight to the planner, so yes, that is that. And what I've been doing, as you can see, I have been trying to use some of them. Like, this is my key, I've just covered it with some washi. These are the stickers that I often use in my monthly circle stickers, and this is just like a note page. So I have done something with them, but I don't want them. I don't want them in my planner, frankly. Another thing for you to keep in mind is that Hobonichi has very few notes pages. As you can see, let's see how many are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. 6 sides. So if you want a lot of notes pages, that could be an issue. But I think the reason that they've given so few notes pages is simply because you have a lot of other spreads, daily spreads. You do not, the idea is that you do not need many notes pages, and I'm fine with that, simply because, as you can see, I have just used this as a reading journal section over here, and for testing pens, that's it. I have not used the notes pages as of otherwise. An idea that I have been doing this year is that I am using these extra spreads that are there as notes pages. That is something for you to consider. For example, if you do not use the weeklies much, you can always consider pages from the dailies that you don't use as notes pages. You can always do that. And if you're worried about finding them, there is a way for that as well. As you know, there is a section at the beginning. Let's see. Yes. This is the yearly section at the beginning, and I do not use it. Initially, I tried to use it as a habit tracker, but it just did not work out, as you can see. So what I'm thinking for next year is to use it as an index. I know that many people are already doing that, to use it as an index. So that is also something that can be helpful when you use other pages as notes pages. You can always just write it down over here so you can find it easily. That is a very nice idea, I believe, which I am kind of thinking to use for next year. Now, coming to storage issues. If you are someone who stores your planner after the year, I think the Hobonichi Cousin is a good idea, simply because you just have to store one planner. That was one of my main reasons for getting this planner. When I used planners last year, I had an Erin Condren planner, I had a bullet journal, I had some random other planner as well, and there were several planners. I did not want that. I want to store just one planner because I do not have the space to store so many planners. I would love to store just one planner, and the Hobonichi Cousin gives me that situation. So it is just one planner with all my information. I just wanted to clarify, this is not my work planner. I have a separate planner for work simply because I do not need to keep my work planner after 1 year. I generally just dump it because I do not need it after 1 year. However, I keep my personal planner. As of now, I'm keeping my main planner for storage, but I do not keep my work planners. So writing work information in this is quite pointless, and as you have seen, there is no place as well, so I cannot do that. So yes, that is regarding storage. Now, the next thing for you to consider is if you find that this planner is too bulky. Okay, if you find that this planner is too bulky, as you know, there is a different version for the Cousin, which is called the Cousin Avec, which is half years. Okay, so there is Jan to June in one book and July to December in the next book. That is an idea for you to consider. Again, the reason I did not get is what I mentioned just before. I need one planner. I do not want two separate books, but if you're interested in that, that might be an idea as well. And that is beneficial if you are someone who uses a lot of stickers, that your planner bulks up a lot. I think I can survive with writing in this planner till December, so I do not need two separate books for that. But if you feel that it is easier to carry around with just half the year, that could be something you want to think about. And also, I enjoy that there is everything in one planner, but at the same time I'm bothered by flipping between the spreads, because I have to flip to go to the monthly, then to the weekly, then to the daily in one day itself. That is a little bit of an issue for me, but then I'm kind of used to it now because I always have the bookmarks on all three spreads. That is another thing to remember. You need at least 3 bookmarks if you need to move from spread to spread. One for the monthly, one for the daily, and one for the weekly. That is how I have it now. So yes, there is that issue of flipping between the spreads, which can irritate some people as such. And also, this is not a completely neutral planner. For those who are into decorating, maybe it can be bothersome that it is not completely neutral. As you have seen in the spreads, it has colors, minimal colors, but it has colors. And especially when it comes to dailies, as you can see, it is colored. Every month has a different color. So when you try to maybe set up a spread, it could be slightly irritating that there is already a color over there and you have to try to match up to that. Not a huge issue for me, but yes, if I had a choice, I would prefer that there were no separate colors for each month and I could choose what I could do with that. So that is a slight issue for me. And in some ways, when you think about it, the Hobonichi Cousin, it's not so customizable because you are stuck with a single cover for the entire year. It is a book-bound planner after all, and the cover is quite minimal because there are planners like the EC planner that I use, which give a lot of customizable options. You can add in your name, you can change the covers, you can choose the inserts you want, other customizable options. But I really like the Cousin nevertheless. Yes, it is true, I find it a little difficult when it comes to being able to customize it, but not that much of an issue, simply because I can decorate the cover like this if I want to, or I can leave it blank if I want to have a more minimal, sophisticated look. And also the insides as well, the pages, I can change it up. It is not that difficult to change it up. But I feel that it does not have the look that I would like it to have. I know it is silly, but when I carry my EC planners, I just love it, because it has just, if you've seen that planner I've showed several times now in this video, it just has such a sophisticated, beautiful look on the planner, no matter which cover you buy, and it looks quite good. On the other hand, I remember when I got my first Hobonichi at home, they were pretty surprised that this planner was expensive. They thought that it was some cheap notebook I got from the store, and when I told them the price at home, and everyone was quite surprised over here. So I wish it would, yes, I know it is silly, that I wish that it would look a little more, I don't know, something else. But then it's okay, it just stays in the cover, it does not bother me, and it is at home, so it does not bother me. That is why I choose my easy planners for work. There are a number of reasons that I love the easy planner for work, and I don't use a Hobonichi for work. But yes, that is about it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please mention down in the comments below any other views that you have of the Hobonichi Cousin, or are you considering buying another planner for next year? So it can help me as well with my decisions as I add in planners for the next year. See you all in the next video. Bye.